Now, when I'm reading that, something hits me. That is not true. That is not true for anyone else to say that quote except for Jesus. Why? Because when Jesus said it, he knew that him in and of himself being the way, the truth, and the life actually has the power to set you free from the bondage of sin and death. He actually has the power to break shame off of you. His truth actually has the power to stop you from being so afraid in your life. His truth actually has the power to break depression off of you. His truth actually has the power to give you identity and give you purpose. His truth literally takes away the sting of death. Can any other truth do that? No. It can't be true that any other truth can truly set you free but the blood of Jesus. See, a lot of us and a lot of what culture would tell you is that you don't need God. You don't need that truth. You can be your own truth. You can be your own God. You can be your own power. You can be your own love. Why would you need God for any of this, right? And it's the same lie that culture's telling us that literally told Eve this in the garden in Genesis 1. If you remember, Adam and Eve were in the garden, and the serpent comes to Eve and tries to tell her if she takes a bite of this apple, then her eyes will be open, and she will know good and evil, and she will be like God. You see, Eve did not eat that apple that day because that apple just looked like such a good apple. I mean, have you ever seen an apple look that good that you would be willing to lose your whole life because you just gotta take a bite? Never. They will never look that good. I don't care how red. I don't even care if you add peanut butter. It will never be that good to sacrifice that much. Eve did not take a bite of the apple because she thought the apple looked good. Eve took a bite of the apple because she thought, if I eat this apple, then I will be like God. And when she ate that apple, guess what she realized? She's not God. She can't be God. Because it's tempting to want to have the glory of God, but when you realize that to carry the weight of his glory, you have to carry the weight of your sin, all of a sudden it's not tempting anymore. Because the weight of glory seems really interesting, but the weight of sin is really scary. The good seems really great, but the and evil is what really stings. And see, to be your own God, you don't only get to carry yourself on the mountaintops, you gotta survive in the valley. So maybe your life will be manageable to be God. Maybe you'll live an okay life. Maybe bad things won't happen to you. And maybe you can get by for some time trying to be your own God. But what do you do when you face death? Then can you be your own God? Then does your truth set you free? See, that's the seriousness of this, friends. We can say we're young all day long. We can say all these things, but the earlier we get this truth, the earlier we get to be the fullness of who we're called to be and who we're created to be. The earlier we get to be the light of the world, the earlier we get to share in the victory of Christ. You see what the word says? It's the same spirit that literally raised Jesus from the dead is alive in you. Is that not crazy to think about? Like that becomes true when this is true to you. When God is God to you, the same spirit that raised Jesus out of the grave is alive in you. When this becomes true to you, you become the light of the world.